Hi folks, welcome back to the Horde. So chilly out here. Welcome to Tuesday, folks. Well, took about half the winter, but we finally have some snow here in the Hudson Valley. Anyway, today's shout out is for Sean Mr. Fix-It Lee. He's put together a gas-powered mobility scooter. He does a bunch of stuff with generators. He built his own. So he just does a lot of cool stuff, a lot of positive feedback. You know, what kind of guy you would love to have as a neighbor. So go check him out. Tell him old Harvey sent you, and we'll go forward from here. Anyway, working on motor mounts. You can see I already kind of, did put some caterpillars on there to hold them in there. I'm using the Harbor Freight. This is their second generation. Their first generation FluxCore $99 welder was blue. This one is black. This one's a little better because this is not powered up until you push this button. The blue one, this was always hot. So as soon as you turned it on, you had to be careful where you put it because it would arc. So I like this one better. It was replaced under warranty. I bought I guess it was a 2-year warranty on it, and I was having trouble with it feeding at the end, so they replaced it under warranty, and I got the black one, which was an upgrade. So that really worked out well. To make these motor mounts, they're just made out of bed frame, right? Nothing fantastic. That's kind of rectangular box steel, and these are just bed frame. I got some just standard bed frame, right? You could see some right there, right? The little caster wheel. Got my grinder and cut them to the shape and size I wanted. I measured one out. I started on this side, drilled a pilot hole in it, then put them together. You can see I spent a lot of time making them look alike. And then clamped them and blocked them up. Drilled the second pilot hole, then went to the bit size I wanted and drilled the final holes. These motor mounts are up tight on this side, both of them, top and bottom. On this side, I had to put a little spacing in about the thickness of that. So I put that in here and welded those on. Once again, always being very careful to make sure everything stayed parallel, perpendicular, and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, that's not parallel because the rear end slid. Right, you can see it's rubbing on this side, and on that side I have a lot of space, right, and this side's rubbing. So when I moved it over, I did that. The other thing is I made sure I set the rake and all, which kind of sets the length, which kind of affects your chain. I set the length so that the chain ended on a link such that I could put a master through. I didn't have to connect this together with a half link. No big deal, right? One could use a half link, and I'm probably going to have a chain tensioner on it anyway. But you can see stuff is still loose. But I wanted to do that right. Last thing one wants to do is throw a chain, wreck your case, wreck your day. So what do I have left to do? Now that these mounts are tacked on here, I'm going to pull this whole thing off, right? I'm going to undo those 8 bolts, 4 and 4, and the bolts holding the engine there, those two. I'm going to bring this downstairs. I'm going to put it on the wood stove, get it nice and hot. Then I have a Lincoln Tombstone in the lower garage, and I'm going to weld them up solid. Right, I'm going to weld them under here and under here. I'm going to weld them well here and here. And those Harbor Freight welds, I'm going to look at them closely. If they're not any good, I'm going to grind them off and redo them. This is a little thick for the Harbor Freight welder, but the Harbor Freight welder, it's easier to kind of like get in here to weld, especially with, you know, brackets and jacks and all that other junk floating around. So I did use to tack things together, but the Lincoln Tombstone is going to give me my real welds. Basically what you see in the back there, after I get that nice and solid, I'm going to basically do the same thing up front here, right? This is going to be that, that upright. But you could see it's going to sit down here like this, right? Then I'll bolt it up, throw some tacks on it, and make basically the same two mounts. I'm going to set them up. I think the bottom mount, I think I can weld that on to here and then bolt it up to the engine. I think the top mount, I think I'm going to have to make that removable on both sides, so it's only going to be, the top mount's going to be bolted to this and bolted to that. And because I'm probably going to, if I want to get the engine out, I don't want to, though, I guess I can pull the bottom plate. I don't know. I'll be thinking about that tomorrow. Though with it like this, if I take the engine straight up, right, I shouldn't have any trouble with motor mounts causing me any trouble. So I should get away with welding them both. A lot of times when you're building this kind of stuff, you really got to take some time and look at it and think, and look at it and think. It's very easy to start smashing things together and get 5 steps in and go, oops, I can't go forward because, you know, now I can't get the engine out. Or one of you guys mentioned the ability to change the oil and check the oil. I mean, you got to maintain all these things, the ability to get to the spark plug, the ability to pull the string if you want to rope start it, right? One wants to keep the ability to do all these things. I'm not sure which engine this is. I have a bunch, I don't know, probably 4 of these, 3 or 4 of these floating around. I think there's 3 of these that are not on bikes. Maybe 4. And this is one that I think was sitting on the shelf in the garage. And I think this one is one of the better ones. It only leaks a little bit of oil. Though I'm not seeing any oil on the floor. Maybe it's the best one. Anyway, I think this is the one that I'm actually gonna smash in here and fire up and keep in. Right, I mean it's got compression and all. So yeah, I think we're going with this one. So anyway, folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down. Keep your head up. Go visit Sean, Mr. Fix-It Lee. Tell him Harvey sent you. Folks, thanks for watching and commenting and subscribing. Once again, feet down, head up, and get out there and enjoy all your days. Bye now.